Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Jen on Acre by the Creek. Today I'm going to be doing a DIY project that you guys can try at home. I am going to show you how to make some unpaper towels. This might not seem like your typical homesteading kind of post, but what homesteading means to me is making your home more sustainable and just doing more with what you have at home and being less reliant on things that the big box stores are selling. Not only do I want to do this project to make my homestead more sustainable, but also just to make better, greener choices every day. I just want to implore you guys to start somewhere. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing mentality. Just start somewhere and start making better choices for your home and for the environment one at a time. For a long time, my excuse to not make unpaper towels was that, well, I'm composting my paper towels, so at least I'm not throwing them into the landfill. And that worked long enough, but there's no time like the present, especially right now that all of the stores are basically wiped out of paper towels and toilet paper. I am definitely going to take advantage of this time and get this project done that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I know that this is a little bit of a different video. I did want to bring you guys inside the homestead today to show you this instructional how-to. So let's just go ahead and get into it with the unpaper towel tutorial. What you'll need to complete this project will be some plastic snaps, a thread cutter, something to turn your work out, a ruler and rotary cutter, a paper towel or some sort of a template to which you want your fabric cut down to, scissors, a snap plier tool, and of course your flour sack towels. Just a forewarning, guys. I'm not going to be super crazy and try to make these unpaper towels perfect. Don't call the sewing police on me. I'm not worried about these having perfectly pressed seams or perfectly straight lines. These are for utility purposes for me, so just getting them done and starting to use them is good enough for me. With that being said, do what makes your heart happy. If you want to have perfectly quilted lines or you want your seams to be pressed and nice and crisp, go for it. But for me, I'm just going ahead and getting it done today. To begin, I take my flour sack towel and I open it up. And I just make sure that these seams here are roughly lined up, which they are. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this perfect. If you want to, go ahead and do that. You can press this first to get a nice, clean, crisp, edge, but I'm not really worried about it. Once I have my towel opened up and it is folded in half and then in half again, I take my template, my select a size paper towel, and I start cutting. First, I'll just cut on this side, and then I'll cut off this folded edge to free up both of those sheets. And then I flip my towel over to the other side and cut off these free edges. And then lastly, I line up with the top of my paper towel and cut off the top. And then when we take all of this away, you'll see that we have two 2-ply templates on each side. So we have 4 total. And what I mean by 2-ply is if you open this up, you'll get a large rectangle. For me, I wanted these to be 2-ply. So I keep them folded in half like that, and then I sew them together. If you just want single ply, you can definitely cut off this free edge as well, and then out of each flour sack towel, instead of getting 4 2-ply towels, you'll get 8 single ply towels. And now that we have these all cut out, we can head over to the sewing machine. I am using a lime green thread. I just like the way that it looked against the white. I am a minimalist at heart. I've seen so many videos of people making unpaper towels and using really pretty quilting cottons and patterns, but for me, I just wanted them to be a little bit more like traditional paper towels, so I went just all white. That's why I'm using the flour sack towels, but I did like the little bit of detailing with the green stitching. If you want yours to just be really plain white, just stick to a white thread, or if you don't want to be so simple with just a white paper towel, you can use quilting cotton on the one side that you're going to see, and then the flour sack towel on the other side, so that you still can use your flour sack towels. Basically what I'm trying to say is just do what you like. These are for your house after all, so I'm doing what I like, you do what you like. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start, and I'm going to be putting the short end into the sewing machine first. I'm going to put a lot of the material behind the machine because we are going to be leaving an opening to turn our work out later if you're using the 2-ply method. If you're doing single ply, then you probably just serge your edges and move on. So to start, I'll just go ahead and do a few stitches, back stitch, sew about a 1/4 inch away from my edge, pivot the work to go down the long side, and then sew until the very end. Once I get to the edge, I'll back stitch again and then off of my work. Now, the reason that we don't pivot here again is because when I cut, I left this folded edge together. If you cut that edge off, you're gonna have to pivot and just go around your whole square. I chose to cut mine this way so that I can save myself this extra seam. So now I'm gonna turn to the other side. This is the seam that we just made. You're gonna wanna leave about a 1 inch opening here, 1 to 2 inch, so that you can turn your work out. Don't forget to leave that opening on these. And then again, sew down the long side. Once you've gotten to this point, go ahead and trim all of your tails off. Once you have all your tails trimmed off, go ahead and snip your edges off, being careful not to cut through your stitches. And then you'll just take where you left your opening and turn this whole thing out. To help turn out your edges, you can use a pencil, or I like to use this reusable chopstick, and just go inside and poke out the edges. That way your edges are nice and crisp. And then you have this to work with. It is easiest to do this project assembly line style. Once you have a few of those sewed together and then turned right side out, you want to take your open edge here and fold that in a little bit, just like that. And then we're going to give this whole thing a press. Like I said, I am not worried about getting nice crispy seams, but I am going to pull out my seams a little bit just so that they're not super wonky, and then just give this a quick press. Now that I've gotten my seam pressed open, I'm going to go ahead around and sew the whole thing right around the edge. Again, I'm going to give myself a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I will back stitch at my beginning and end. Now that I've gone around the entire rectangle, I do like to pivot here, and I will quilt an X to keep both plies of the work together. And as filming luck would have it, my bobbin just ran out. Like I said, as luck would have it, my bobbin ran out during that filming, but you get the point. You just go ahead and quilt a X across the rectangle, and that'll just help keep the plies together for you. So real quick, I'll show you how to get the snaps put on. If you would like to, you can use this tool that comes with your snap pliers. With the flour sack towels, I don't feel that I need to. The pins go right through without it, but if you feel like you need to, this comes with your tool for a reason. So what you're going to want to do is take your snap button. I roughly find the center of my work, and I just poke the pin straight through to the back, and then I take my male button and put it on the opposite side. With your snap pliers, line up the button with the black pad here, and then give it a good squeeze, and you have fastened your snap onto there. So here is where you have to pay a little bit of attention. When you do the other side, you don't want to put the buttons on the same side. So this is button with male on the underside, and you're going to do the opposite on this side. So you're going to put the button on the back of your work, and then you're going to add your female to the top. And same thing, just find your pliers, give it a good squeeze, and there you go. So you want it to look something like this, where you have your male or female part, and then your button. And the reason why is you're going to be lining these up on a paper towel roll. Here's another one. And what I'll do is I'll just find my opposite, and then I snap it into the first towel. And then I'll line up all my towels on a paper towel roll and then just roll them on. Now, if you haven't run out of your paper towels yet, you do want to go ahead and save your cardboard tube. And the reason is I did take some snaps and put them onto my paper towel roll. And that's just gonna hold it on a little bit more strong on my towel roll holder to make sure that they don't just end up sliding right on off. So obviously the way that I placed these was with one snap on either side. The reason being is I couldn't get one snap in the middle. My tool wasn't long enough to reach over. So with your beginner towel, you wanna do the same thing and make sure that you add 2 snaps on either sides. And then I'll probably just end up leaving this towel on there all the time and then snapping my others along the center. So I add my snaps to my paper towel roll holder, and then I snap all of my towels together in a nice straight line. And then I can go along and just start to roll these up. And just like that, you have your roll of unpaper towels. If you aren't interested in having the unpaper towel roll, if you don't want to go through the fuss of making the snaps, or you just don't like it, you can also just fold your towels and put them into a basket or a box and keep the basket on your countertop for use. I've seen this as another popular way to do it. I'm probably going to end up trying both. I'll have the basket as well as the roll in my kitchen, and then I'll see which way works best for our home. Thank you guys so much for watching my unpaper towel tutorial. I will let you know which method I ended up liking best, either the roll or the basket. If you have any questions about how to do this, please make sure you ask them in the comments below and I will reply to you. I know this wasn't your traditional homesteading video, but I appreciate you guys watching. It is a great way to make your home a little bit more sustainable. Please make sure that you like this video and also subscribe to my channel. If you didn't yet, make sure you check out my how to thin out your seedlings video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.